Donald Trump's most important executive orders was the executive order defining the Houthi group in Yemen as a terrorist organization. I believe it has the potential to bring us into long-term conflict in the Middle East. This is kind of my series where I deep dive into the news instead of spoon feeding it to you as breaking news. So hopefully you can learn a little bit more. We also have fresh news from Somalia today that might help make all of this make sense. We are going to look at my vintage looking map. I call it vintage because we still have the Gulf of Mexico. Then we're going to go over to the Middle East to review what we learned yesterday. Remember, Israel has penetrated into Syria and Lebanon. Lebanon is Hezbollah. Hamas is in Palestine. Now, Israel is spread super thin because they are also in Yemen. Yemen is where the Houthis are. Yemen is important because it's in the Red Sea. Red Sea is a very, very important port with a lot of vested financial interest from around the world. In addition to being geographically inconvenient for Israel, Yemen also is more powerful. I told you before that you're going to hear that they're Iran-backed, and that is slightly true, but there's more to the story. And remember, Iran and Saudi Arabia, they always have beef. What I haven't told you is that Russia has been heavily funding Yemen and the Houthis in Yemen as retaliation for the West's contribution to Ukraine. It's more than fair to assume that they're doing something in this area because remember, they just took down a plane in Azerbaijan. That brings us to Somalia, again, right here in this Red Sea that everybody's interested in, directly across from Yemen. And remember that in addition to Israel being spread thin and us being their strongest ally, our other allies are wanting stability in this region. But I also told you that a lot of these groups are starting to work together in ways we haven't seen before. So in Yemen, the Houthis have been contributing weaponry and other resources to Somalia to al-Shabaab. We have this brand new article from this morning where the president of Somalia says that Trump must help defeat global terrorism. We also learned from a defense secretary that much of the ground Somalia has made in combating al-Shabaab has been lost due to support from the Houthis. The concern is that as the Houthis and al-Shabaab work together, they may be able to achieve more attacks in the Red Sea. It does seem like this is a big interest of the Department of Defense. And defining the Houthis as a terrorist organization means that we would withdraw any humanitarian aid to the region, as well as be able to engage in more conflict. Again, much of the concern in the Red Sea is financial. The rest is really more of an allegiance to Israel. But now we do have Somalia across the way asking for more support. So let me know your thoughts. If you are looking to learn more about the history of Palestine and Israel, here's just a handful of good books, a syllabus, if you will. I would definitely be interested in teaching more. I just need to figure out how to do that separately so it doesn't get caught up in me trying to make the news today make sense. You really do have to work your way back with current events. You do kind of have to hit on the Holocaust, so I have a separate reading list for that. On the top right here, there's 100 years. In the middle is a very brief history. I'm going to recommend On Palestine, top left, with Noam Chomsky. So that's a great book, but my showcase is absolutely full of books on all kinds of different subjects. So I'll probably continue to do the short videos, kind of walking people through the news now, and then maybe do that in a long form when I really select which portions of books that I want to bring out here.